Today we have on special guest Hamza Shoaib. He is the podcast host of the Hamza Shoaib Show. He will be telling us about his podcast and how you can start a podcast today.
This is not financial advice. Please consult your financial advisor to associate the risks involved with any investment. Are you tired of developers and consulting firms taking advantage of your lack of technology knowledge? Narrow Lending is here to help with your software, mobile app, IT security, and game development needs. Give us a call at 888-503-8298. Get $500 in free advertising and professional advertising help when advertising today in our Business Virtual World and our Virtual World affiliates. See how advertisers are getting a 200% return on investment on their advertising spend. Give us a call at 888-503-8298.
Check out Hamza's Virtual World. Our goal is to gamify the podcast experience for our listeners. We accomplish this by creating a virtual world for our guest Hamza that listeners can enter and learn more about Hamza through a first-person game format. Listeners can also earn money while being in our guest virtual world and get huge discounts on business services, clothing, and much more. Explore the open-world virtual city of our guest and enjoy virtual concerts, shopping mall, games, and a great fun experience. Play multiplayer games where you can earn discounts and money to use toward business or sell in our open marketplace. We hope you enjoy the experience.
Tell us how you got into podcasting.
So I wanted to start a YouTube channel for, I think, a good part of a year. And so what happened was that I did a tech video first because I'm really into gadgets and tech and all of that. But once I was done with that video, I didn't feel like I learned something or, it wasn't, just talking about inanimate objects. It, didn't resonate with the person I am. So my next idea was going into podcasting, and for me it was, for me, like I learned through discussions. That's something that I recognized growing up, and so I wanted to sort of learn from the guests that I'm calling over, and then also try to make the audience learn from it as well. So it's kind of like a mixture of both. So for me, it's like a learning journey doing this podcast.
What is your podcast about?
Podcast is about anything under the sun. Because right now I haven't really found my niche yet, but I don't even plan to, because I believe that I'm a diverse person when it comes to the type of things that I like and the type of things that I would want to know about. So for me, it's like a gateway into. So if I would, for example, reach out to someone who's a great professor in some top university, if I give him a cold email, he might not respond. But if I say, "Come on my show," it gives it evens the playing field. So So for me, it's just about everything that I really want to learn.
How do you get podcast guests to come on your show?
Okay, so I was scared about doing that as well, but I have a good social circle who's doing great stuff in their own careers and in their own lives. So I started from there, and it's sort of like snowballed into other people finding out about it, and it still remains a challenge to get in good guests, but I've been lucky so far, to be very honest. I think I have enough social capital because I live in a small city, but an influential city, which is Islamabad, which is the capital of Pakistan. So people know each other very well because it's a small city, right? So I think that also led me to, reach out to good guests, and so it's been fun so far.
How many episodes have you done so far?
I've done 20. I have 10 recorded as well, so I'm good for December. So I started with weekly uploads, but then I got like a lot of guests and I recorded them. So the thing was that now I've moved to like 2 podcasts a week, and I don't know if I'll be able to maintain that pace, but right now it's working. Yeah.
What do you recommend for listeners trying to or thinking about starting a podcast?
Yeah. So, for anyone who wants to start podcasting, I would just say, do it. There's no other advice. So you see a lot of those. So I saw a lot of the videos online, in which they're telling you how to start a YouTube channel or how to start your own podcast and all of that. And so they give you a lot of tips like, find your niche and, research and all of that. But I think that is just so daunting, to think that you have to first figure out all of this plan and then start action. So that's like taking you like 6 months or 8 months or whatever. Maybe you lose interest by then. So I just say do it, because you will, find your niche and you'll find those people, and you will find what your ideas are as you do those actions, right? And you will see yourself getting better and better at things. And so no one is born like a podcast host, right? Everyone, learns it somehow with their own experiences and all of that. So for anyone who wants to start, just start, even if it's like a one-on-one podcast or if it's with a guest, just do it.
Are you tired of developers and consulting firms taking advantage of your lack of technology knowledge? Narrow Lending is here to help with your software, mobile app, IT security, and game development needs. Give us a call at 888-503-8298. Get $500 in free advertising and professional advertising help when advertising today in our Business Virtual World and our Virtual World affiliates. See how advertisers are getting a 200% return on investment on their advertising spend. Give us a call at 888-503-8298.
How do you monetize your podcast?
There are several ways to monetize your podcast. I mean, obviously there's the YouTube monetization program, but apart from that, what you can do is you can do product placements. You can even, I think, uploading on Anchor or Spotify is also I mean, it also helps with monetization, but it's not enabled in my country for some reason. So, I mean, once you get those number of followers or subscribers or whatever, then you can obviously leverage them to get some sort of brands on. You can maybe make ads, or so that's what most of the Pakistani YouTubers are doing, podcasters are doing. And so, yeah, I mean, there are a few ways that you can monetize.
How can listeners reach out to you and learn more about your podcast?
So my podcasts are available on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts with the name of Hamza Shoaib Show. And you can reach to me on my email address. So yeah, that's yeah. So I've been a conversationalist essentially all my life, right? But I never really could find, where should I use it? So this is something that comes very naturally, right? And the more I think about it now, the more I feel stupid that, I could have easily, gone to a radio show or maybe start podcasting at an earlier age. But, so for someone who, I think you first need to realize what your gift is or what your skill is that you may have had, and then you have to understand how to monetize it. I mean, you have to think that where would your voice or your physique or whatever your skill is, where would that be implemented? So I just think that people really need to be aware that, don't do anything for free essentially, but I mean, just know how to monetize yourself, how to sell yourself better, and how to place value in your own self. I think that's just really important.
What did you do before podcasting?
So I was very shy though. For me, I'm good in social settings with my own group of friends and family, but I was never a public speaker. I run a small school in Islamabad. It's an alternate education school by the name of Edopia. So that's what my day job is. And me and my wife run it together, and it's something that's pretty different and pretty into the future when it comes to learning. So we're essentially placing the child in the center of the education, journey, and not the teachers and the adults. And what we're trying to essentially create is empowering children to be lifelong learners, where they're not where they don't face the challenge of or the constraints of a textbook like we all had in our education, right? So what we want them to eventually be is someone that can just, essentially tackle anything in their lives in a certain way and not be scared of it. And, to have all of the skills that are necessary, not for just for the present, but for the future as well. So we're trying to, create we have, and it's been 8 years that we've been trying to create this environment. Yeah, but I mean, it has been an amazing journey, and I think if you can go to our website and you will check out what we've been doing so far. So it's focused on skills. It's focused on children having a voice. It's focused on democracy. So they have their own assemblies and they have their own meetings where they can rule out a vote or suggest a punishment for a certain act if a certain someone did it in the community, and the teachers are also not that safe. So I mean, it's we're trying to give them a bite of the real world before they even reach the real world, so that they're more equipped with more equipped for the future.
Are you tired of developers and consulting firms taking advantage of your lack of technology knowledge? Narrow Lending is here to help with your software, mobile app, IT security, and game development needs. Give us a call at 888-503-8298. Get $500 in free advertising and professional advertising help when advertising today in our Business Virtual World and our Virtual World affiliates. See how advertisers are getting a 200% return on investment on their advertising spend. Give us a call at 888-503-8298.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the show.